After having read through the initial how to play and whatnot and had a look at the map, I embedded Florence Dubois, the damsel, into my army, and did some upgrading before we headed into the first battle against Musillon. Now, the auto-resolve said close victory, but I think that was a little bit too optimistic based on my skill level. The battle went okay though. Could have gone better. Could have gone worse. Definitely could have gone worse. But we got some cool shots here, and I did get a bit of a feel for the cavalry, and I had a feeling that the cavalry was going to be pretty important in this campaign, which is something that I'm not good at. So it's good practice. But we did get a Pyrrhic victory, so you know, could have been better, but still a victory. And then, with the first mission out of the way, we had our next one, which was to take a settlement, as it usually is. Auto-resolve said decisive victory. We did not get that, but that's okay. So then, with the first two missions out of the way, I decided to beef up my army a little bit with some more troops. And then we headed straight towards war with Heinrich Kemmler of the Barrow Legion. I decided to take the auto-resolve on Castle Artois here, with the close victory, which, in hindsight, I should not have done. But we got this really good enchanted item, the Mane of the Pure Breed, which really boosts our cavalry. Kemmler did not like me taking Castle Artois though, so he immediately attacked me with two armies, and I had to take the auto-resolve on this one as well, because I would not have been able to actually fight this. So I traded 2 units for that. And at this point, I figured I could use a little bit more help on the front line, so I got myself a paladin, Taggart Wormkiller. And Taggart got there just in time because, as you can see, we are being attacked by Ugrok Kraktuf, this greenskin devil. And, like, I don't have that much experience fighting greenskins, and the auto-resolve on this said Valiant Defeat, which, you know, kind of means that it is winnable, but not for me. I think I literally played this battle like 12 times over and over and over again because I had to win it. I could not lose Castle Artois and I could not lose my army. And I mean, like, look at this. Look at the difference in infantry units here. Like, these orcs and their armor and their size against my puny, like, peasant spearmen. This was such a rough battle. Not only did they have super strong infantry, but they also had these like snotling pump wagons and squigs. It was just hell on earth for my poor peasants. And again, 12 times I fought this. 12 times. But like I said in the intro, I am playing this to become better at the game. So, you know, it's just practice, right? And eventually we did somehow manage to get the win, thankfully. It was a Pyrrhic win, but I mean, come on, obviously, it's a Pyrrhic victory. As I was about to pop the champagne and celebrate my epic win there, they attacked me immediately, again. I also could not auto-resolve this because I would lose too many units, so I had no choice but to once again fight the Greenskins in a battle that I was pretty sick of fighting. But it did go a lot better this time. We got a good win, and we didn't really lose any units, so I was a lot more happy with this time around. And would you look at that? They attacked me again! And I also got the opportunity to confederate with Lyonesse here, but I did not have enough chivalry or money to do that, so I had to just do nothing. And the third battle against Skull Smashers went pretty good, and we actually did end up with a decisive victory, which we should have done. You know, I'm not trying to brag. Once again, though, my victory was short-lived because Be'lakor decided to declare war on me the second we beat back Skull Smashers. So I recruited a new army, hoping to get a little bit of peace before Be'lakor attacked. Which you just saw, we didn't. We lost Castle Artois after the 15 hours I spent defending it. Some good news though, because we could now confederate with Baston, so I demanded fealty. So I headed over to the lands of Baston to check out our newly acquired lands, also saw that our economy was tanking through this confederation. Then also decided to sign a non-aggression pact with Paragon, because, maybe we can confederate with them as well. Non-aggression pacts aside, though, our economy was doing really badly, so I had to get to work and fire and disband all non-essential armies and units. Now, having a look at the map, we were surrounded by like perverts and greenskins and undeads, so I really had to get to work here cleansing the lands. Starting, of course, with Castle Artois and the Red Duke who was occupying it. I did take the Pyrrhic victory here simply because I was just so sick of fighting on this land. Taking back Castle Artois was definitely a step in the right direction, though, and I decided to pledge my boy Taggart here to chivalry. And then afterwards, we immediately got attacked by Heinrich Kemmler. And I don't know what happened to this battle footage. I don't have it. I looked everywhere, but this was such an awful battle. Like, once again, I played this like 12 times. We somehow won in the end, and I really wish I had the footage because I have no idea how I did that. But sadly, as you may have seen there, we did lose Taggart. Hopefully he died a chivalrous death. But Taggart would be avenged. I followed Heinrich out of my castle to try and take him out. I didn't want him going back mustering another army. Now this should have been a really quick and easy battle, but as I sent Lowen in to take care of Heinrich, he spawned like some Tren zombie that was really hard to take down, and all my units were so damaged, so it actually took me quite a while to win this battle. I got my archers to focus down the Tren zombie while Lowen was beating up Heinrich. And eventually we did get the win, and it was actually a decisive victory, one of few decisive victories so far in the campaign. Again, though, we had no reason to celebrate because we were attacked by someone else, the Vanaheimlings. They took out Languil. I think they were invited into the fighting us by Be'lakor like a while back, so they finally attacked. But, as you can see here, they weren't a huge threat, more of an annoyance. We took them out pretty easily. And in the meantime, Kemmler attacked one of my settlements, which apparently gave me a heroic victory, which I was very happy to take. Looking around me here, though, as you can see, we are pretty surrounded by enemies. We got Be'lakor and the Red Duke and Kemmler and like orcs. Like it was such a mess. Speaking of Be'lakor, he took out Languil again and raised it, which is very annoying. And for the next like 10 turns, all I did was just chase Musillon around, trying to corner him and take out the whole army. And eventually we did do that. It was a pretty hard battle, actually, but as you can see by the clip here, we took him out good, and that was very, very satisfying. Now, with Musillon destroyed, which was very nice, I did spend some time just using skill points, upgrading my heroes, and then also doing some research before we moved back up north, because Be'lakor and his Vanaheimlings were there, and we went and destroyed them, which we had to do again. After securing the northern shores and driving Be'lakor and his minions back, I figured it was time for the first quest battle. This quest battle was for the Sword of Coron, and I had Lowen fly in as he was on his hippogriff now, and I also had my cavalry like move away from this hill that I'd taken. And I mean, there were tons and tons of greenskins, and they were hiding in the woods as well, which is why, again, I sent Lowen out to take care of them. And again, like these boar riders or hog riders, or whatever you want to call them, were a bit dangerous. I didn't want them to flank me, but this hill was pretty efficient. Like as you can see with these guys, they were being like pelted with fire arrows. And also, my trebuchets came in very handy, as you can see right there, just like blowing them away. And with my cavalry as well coming in, charging in from the back, super satisfying and really, really fun to play with. I think this was like the first battle where I actually had fun, because all the other ones have just been like purely for survival. Like, but with this one, I could actually have a little fun and charge in my cavalry And look at that Comet of Cassandra in the back. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I really love this battle. And with my cavalry charging, like the people in the back, well, the greenskins in the back, I was very capable of taking out the advancing force there. Especially that chain lightning did a lot of damage. And like, well, still, I mean, you can see the difference in infantry here. The greenskins definitely have the upper hand. But with my cavalry and my magic, and with Lowen as well on his hippogriff, standing triumphantly there, we were able to do this pretty well. Uh, we did end up with a Pyrrhic victory, as usual for me, but it was still a super fun battle, and I think it went really well until we ended it, and Grom the Paunch immediately declared war on us, which we responded with taking one of his settlements. Took Bordelot, which was nice, but then he took Baston, so not as nice. And guess what? Bellicourt is back, baby, taking Anguille. With Bellicourt back on my shores, I had to obviously get a new army going because I could not fight both Grom and Bellicourt on two different sides of the map. So we got Bohemond the Devoted here, gave him some troops. But Bellicourt attacked before we could even recruit them. Didn't really matter though, we still got the Pyrrhic victory. We love those Pyrrhic victories. Now, this was a long war between me and Grom. We went back and forth so many times. He took me out, I took him out, he took my settlement, I took his settlement. Eventually, though, I was able to corner him at Massive Orkel, you know, his main capital building, which was perfect. And I did have to besiege him a little bit, though. When I besieged Massive Orkel is when I saw that I could actually now recruit the Green Knight. I had enough chivalry to do that. So I recruited him, thinking I could use him as a normal hero, you know, maybe assassinate or assault or I don't know, something, but no. So that was completely pointless. Finally, though, Grom the Paunch decided to put his big belly outside of the castle walls, and he came out to meet us in the field, which was the plan. Now, Grom's units were pretty strong. I mean, what the hell is that thing? But his infantry, like, I don't even know what these guys are called, and, like, he had two more of those spider things. He had trolls, he had archers, he had, like, orc boys or savage war boys. I don't know greenskins. I need to do a video on them to actually play them to know what I'm up against. But this was such a savage battle. We took a lot of casualties here, and I mean, it's just yeah, my little tiny spear guys against these orcs and trolls and this huge spider. Like, I feel very sorry for my soldiers here. Like, look at that, and those trolls as well. Honestly, watching this replay, I have no idea how I won this. Because it does not look good. I don't understand when I won this. Look at my thin line of I think these are battle pilgrims. They're just absolutely getting squashed. But my cavalry did do quite a lot of work outside of this front line though, and my field trebuchets also took care of a lot of high value targets. So as you can see, we did get the win. A Pyrrhic victory once again. We need to have like a Pyrrhic victory counter on this video, honestly. So we took him out, and we took out Massive Orkel, and with that, the Broken Axe was destroyed. With Grom gone, though, we kind of had to focus on expanding somewhere else, and that's when I saw Enkari and his gang of perverts, so I decided to go straight after him. We took Lyonesse pretty easily, and then just pretty much moved into whatever areas he had taken in Ulthuan. Fairly easy, and, you know, we ran into Enkari himself. Auto Resolve said decisive victory. What do you think? Are we gonna match that? It was fun though. It was a fun fight. Now Slaanesh, they don't have any missile units, and so we had an upper hand there, right? You would think. And there he is. the main pervert himself. Now, they charged into us, and also, I mean, that spell, oh my god, it took out so many units. But we were able to take out Ankari and the rest of them. But here, like, I managed to chain lightning only my own troops, pretty much. So I played this so bad. Like, I need this practice, because what is this spell? I'm looking back, and it's so bad. It's so bad. But Ankari goes out, and with that, it was pretty much the win. We did end up with a close victory, though, so it wasn't that bad. And while Lowen was taking care of this, I decided to send Adrian the Devoted down a little bit south to see if there were any areas that I could claim down there. Which, annoyingly though, put me in a bad spot, because the Banner Hindlings came down and started taking the areas that I just took from Ankari. And when Adrian reached the southern shores, I saw that this was all just pointless, because Orion and Durthu had gone around there and taken all the settlements. And I gotta give it to Be'lakor and the Vanaheimlings here, because they started moving in on Ulthuan, taking out the areas that I had just taken from Ankari, like I said, right? So that kept me busy, but if you look at the map right now, you see that there are like 2 armies moving in on Languil again. This was about to be like the 8th time that Languil would be destroyed. And stupidly, I thought that I could get Adrian the Devoted back to Baston and Languil to keep it safe. So I figured that I would use Lowen to take care of the Ulthuan areas, so that I wasn't attacked from that front as well. This was a very, very bad call. I can just say that right now, because Adrian is far away. And as you can see here, Coron was attacked by Be'lakor himself. I fought this battle so many times. I really, really didn't want this to fall, but he took it, and he, goddamn, raised it. Now, I brought Lowen back, obviously, after that happened, but Languil and Coron was already raised. Both Lowen and Adrian, they were too late. But we got swift revenge, though. We took out both of their armies, chased them down. But this was a huge hit for me. Coron was by far the most upgraded settlement that I had, like military-wise and money-wise, everything. So that was a bad move on my part, and a huge hit to my war effort. But as you can see, we took him out, and this pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie, this was really annoying. I was so sick of Be'lakor and the Vanaheimlings at this point. So we retook Coron, started rebuilding Languil and Coron, and it was time for me to take the war to them. I was so sick of having them come up to my shores, taking everything. So I moved Lowen in on the Isle of Wight, and as you can see there, I had the Green Knight with me this time as well, to try him out a little bit. Adrian the Devoted stayed back, recruiting and rebuilding Coron, while while Lowen was taking care of the northern threat. And as you can see, if you look at his army now, he's got we've got some Pegasus Knights that we thankfully recruited before Coron was raised. We have a field trebuchet, and Lowen was also getting pretty powerful at this point. Like he was starting to become a good card in my deck of units. But Be'lakor had like 2 other armies, so this wasn't about to be super easy, and that was really weird as well. Lightning Strike just made the odds worse for us for the auto resolve for some weird reason. And again, I was so sick of fighting Be'lakor, so we went for as many decisive victories here as we could through the auto resolve. And the Vanaheimlings also obviously managed to slip through and retake some settlements. Didn't really matter that much though. I just really wanted to get rid of Be'lakor. He was the main threat there, because he just kept respawning all the time, and the Vanaheimlings weren't really a threat without Be'lakor. So I used some lightning strikes, and we just pretty much just moved through the lands here, taking out Cormac, Magroth, and then the garrison. We traded 2 units there. That was fine. Like I could have like played that one myself, but again, so sick of fighting this faction. I was so sick of it. But we took Conquada, which was very nice, and soon we've taken the whole island before, Vanna Heimlings obviously came back again. But it wasn't that bad. And we had finally managed to take care of Albion. Bellicor was gone. It was only now the Vanna Heimlings that were left. As you can see, they have one army going back to Languille again. Like literally the 10th time that Languille had been taken. Honestly, the I don't even know why anyone would live there now, because this is like they're getting razed and rebuilt every single day. We did track them down though and took care of the last army, which was such a satisfying battle. Like, you have no idea how satisfying this was. They had caused so much trouble for me. Coming in with my flying Pegasus. Pegasi? My flying Pegasus, anyway, like, either way. Raining lances down on them. Using my spells. I mean, their army was pretty weak. They had these skin wolves. That was probably the main threat. As you can see, that my archers were hammering them. My chain lightning, the Green Knight, all of them were just destroying them. And actually a decisive victory, which was really nice. And I've never been more happy to have a faction destroyed. But again, it just keeps popping up. Valkia the Bloody, for some reason, a person who I've never encountered, decided to just declare war on me. And then I also, I saw this Norska faction was hiding in the mountains right next to me, so I decided to declare war on them because I didn't want to have them in my lands. So while I was now free from Bellicor, we now had 2 new wars going on. But obviously I couldn't have Blackstone Post be Norscan owned. This is also when we started getting some really good units though, like questing knights. We had the field trebuchets. We were getting our army back up. Now, as I was clearing out the last of the Norscan settlements down on my land, I kind of forgot that Valkia, the Gore Queen, had declared war on us. So I was a bit surprised when I suddenly saw like 3 armies, or Valkia the Bloody, Legion of the Gore Queen. Now, I tried to fight this battle. I did, but I knew. I mean, if the auto resolve says close defeat, there is no way that I'm gonna be able to win that, and especially against like Khorne warriors. I don't know much about Khorne, but I know that they excel at melee and like charging. And yes, this was obviously a decisive defeat. No way I could have had anything other than that. It was honestly so bad. But that's what happens. You win some, you lose some. And speaking of winning some, we now had the last quest battle, and this was to free Felix and Gotrek from some more Slaneshi. I don't even know what to call them. Grossness. This was such a cool battle though. Like, the battlefield and the scenery was really cool. I really loved it. And like, you have this lone questing knight taking out some like demonette of Slanesh. You got Lowen there just crushing them. Anyway, he went okay. He went okay. It was a Pyrrhic victory. But we did get Gotrek and Felix. And honestly, this was when the campaign started to become a little bit more fun. I should have gotten them the second they appeared, because they were really cool heroes. I really enjoyed playing them. And they had also like super good abilities too, which would be really handy now that Valkia and Aslog Krakenbite were advancing through Albion and came onto my shores. And this is actually the first battle that I had with my newfound heroes. which was a cool battle. It was a cool battle. Got some nice spells in on them. Did take some casualties though, because again, they're like the corn infantry charging us just takes us out so hard, and like I was not paying attention here as well. They totally flanked me. Did take down Valkyr though. Again, Lowen is getting pretty good, and Felix and Gotrek really handy. With Adrian as well, he was advancing, so we were pretty much able to just retake it. And at this point, Tyrion had been thrown out of Ulthuan, chilling at the Galleon's graveyard, asking me to form a defensive alliance, which I'm sorry, Tyrion, but no, I don't want to do that. Adrian, though, was really living up to his nickname, the Devoted, because he beat back the Legion of the Gore Queen, took back Isle of Wight and Conquada. We did some upgrades there, and he really went all the way. He took back the Citadel of Lead, and then I saw like Troll Fjord. Damn, maybe I should just eliminate the whole northern threat and move him forward, because if you're looking at that, Nagarond has just taken all of Ulthuan. We're getting a little squished right now. So we went in here to fight the Decadent Host, and if you looked, it said Cormac, right? It says Cormac Manbane right there. So I figured that shouldn't be too bad. But then it changed to Prince Sigvald. Now I don't really know who that is, but oh my god, I got so destroyed, so destroyed. Like you didn't. Yes, I played it so many times. Then I had a really interesting battle because this guy, Ungroll Stoneheart, was roaming my lands, and I was rebuilding Lowen's army at this point, so I only had him and Florence and Felix and Gotrek. So this was a really fun battle. I've never really done a heroes only fight, but it was really fun, especially with Lowen being really powerful. Florence as well was pretty much maxed out, like spell wise. And there you got Felix and Gotrek coming in from the distance. Like really cool couple of heroes. And it was really fun just playing around with them, seeing how they handle themselves. They went after these like minotaurs, probably what they're called. And it was really nice to play around with Florence's like her spells. And like look at that, just easily taking out those Ungor archers. And after this, we could start recruiting the actually fun units, like Hippogriff Knights and stuff. That was like, look at that army. This is honestly when the game started to become fun. Like, this was when it was fun for me to play as as Lowen here. And looking at this, we had no choice. We had to go after Nagarond. Everywhere else was Empire or Empire like allies. So we kind of had to go and retake Ulthuan, reclaim it. And I mean, we fought so like this was such a long a long war. We fought them on islands, and we fought on black arcs, as you can see right here. We had a lot of armies going around. We fought them on the beaches. We we fought them on forests, in the woods, everywhere. It took so long retaking Ulthuan, but we did it eventually. Eventually, and like especially here, we we could just move through it, but then they had the odd army every like now and then. So we did take some losses, but mostly wins, which was nice. Which was nice. And with Ulthuan taken, I started moving in on some of Nagaron's lands, and eventually we'd taken enough settlements to finally be able to claim the long campaign victory. And it took a while, but we got the 10,000 chivalry, we got the 60 different settlements, and as you can see, we did complete the final Erendrip war battle. And now you're like, well, you didn't show us. Well, here, as an outro, please enjoy the best fight of this campaign. Honestly, this was the best fight. I never had as much fun in this campaign as I did fighting this one with my beautiful army of blessed trebuchets, royal Pegasus knights, Grail knights, and the flying hippogriff, like the hippogriff infantry, cavalry. I don't even know what they're called. But this was such a beautiful fight. So please enjoy some of this footage. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.